Hello world, I am Joshua McLean, founder, jam host, and community manager for 8-Bits to Infinity. We run bi-monthly game jams to improve game dev skills and fill the world with fun new ideas. You can check out our website and our Discord. All of the links are in the description. So in this video, we're going to talk about signing up for itch.io, which is where we host our game jams, how to join the game jam, how to create the game page, and how to submit the game to the jam. The middle part there where you make the game, that's all completely up to you, but hopefully this will help you to submit to the jam. So for the first step, you're going to need an itch.io account. You can type in itch.io or just type that into your browser. We can go to the itch.io website, simply click register, fill in all of the information. You want to say whether If you're going to be working on game jams, you know you're going to be working on game jams, you want to check this interested in distributing content because this will help you get all of the tools that you need to develop games. Once you've signed up for itch.io, you can log into your account and you can go to the jam page. Here we have just a test jam, which represents any of our jams. They all pretty much work the same and look the same. Obviously, there would be more description here with an actual jam telling you about what the limitation is, what the theme is, what the various rules are, etc. But what you're going to want to do is click this Join Jam button. And then now you see we're joined on the jam. And then you go and you make the game. So you want to wait until this says submissions due in instead of working before the jam. You want to work in the timeline of the jam. So once the jam begins, make your game. And then once your game is finished, or preferably a little bit before the deadline, you want to come back to itch.io. You want to click your name up here in the corner, or the arrow next to your name in the corner here, and go to Upload New Project. And this is the page where you can upload a project to itch.io. Note that this is not submitting the game to the jam yet. This is just uploading the game for itch.io for general people to see the game page and download the game and play the game. So you want to fill in as much as you can here. Make sure you have a cover image, add some screenshots, fill in the details, put in a genre, etc., etc., etc. And once you're at the bottom, you want to leave this on draft, say save and view page. So now you'll see this will have all of your screenshots, all of your downloads, anything that you added onto the game page. So now your game is drafted on itch.io, but it's not public. Nobody can access this yet. You can see it says draft up here. If you want to show someone else, maybe someone else on your team, or have someone else test the game before you make it public, you can use this secret URL, which will give anyone access to the page before you actually publish it. And then when you actually want to publish it, after you've tested all your downloads, made sure everything looks good, all the information that you need is there, you can go to Edit Game again and switch it to public and then save. And then anyone on itch.io will be able to see the game. Another thing to note about the game page, if you want to modify the background colors or the text colors or the font, you need to go to Edit Theme. You may or may not have access to custom CSS. I don't remember if they've changed this, but it used to be you would have to get access to the custom CSS. All you have to do is email itch.io's support team, let them know you want custom CSS, and they'll give you access. So you can go in here and put in any CSS code you want to modify the page's look and make it look exactly the way that you want it to look. So once you've uploaded your game, you've made your game public, you're not done. It's not in the jam yet. So the most important step, we go back to the jam page and you want to click Submit Your Project. Now, you want to do this with significant time remaining to the end of the jam. You can keep modifying your game to the end of the jam, even if you have submitted it to this form. So once you've got a reasonably okay game page, you don't even need game files. You can submit the game here. So you pick the game from this drop-down. So let's say we want to submit Elemental Battle. You're required to explain how your game applies the limitation and the theme. This is the most important of these questions, because if your game does not apply the limitation, it's going to be disqualified and removed from the jam. To make it abundantly clear how you used the limitation, you want to explain that in this box. You don't have to go into super detail, just say something like, well, there's only 2 buttons in the controls, if that's the limitation. And you can also explain how you used the theme, but remember that's completely optional, so you don't need to have the theme. Say how many people were in your team. All of our jams are 1 to 4 people, so you can't have more than that. And then what main engine tool language you used. You don't need to put in here that you used like Visual Studio or Notepad++. If you want to say some specific audio or visual tool that you used, it's cool to put it in there, but you're not required to put everything in there. You could just say, well, I used Godot, or I used Construct, right? Whatever the core thing is that you used. And then list any diversifiers that you used. You can see more about diversifiers on the jam page, and then you submit. And then your game has been submitted. So if you click this See All Submissions, you won't be able to see the submissions until the jam ends, because we hide them until the jam ends to prevent spam. This means that your game is submitted. If you want to double check that your game is submitted, so if you go to your game page, you'll see up here, Submission to the Jam. So whatever the name of the jam is, it'll say Submission to the Jam. You can click that and it'll take you to your submission page. If this exists, then you are in the jam. Your game has been submitted. Congratulations. Your next step is to share your game. Make sure people know about it. Make sure you're promoting respectfully. So if you're requesting feedback, make sure you're prepared to give feedback. So you can submit to various sharing things like our own Discord, share it on social media, on Twitter. You can also submit to streamers. If you go to the jam page, you'll see a list of streamers that are scheduled to stream games from the jam. Make sure you check their submission requirements and how their submission works, because every streamer works differently. You want to make sure you go and you give quality feedback to other jammers. So every time you give feedback, if you leave a comment here and give some feedback on the game, it will actually include automatically a link to your entry if you have an entry to the same jam. So you don't even need to say, hey, check out my game. Just give them some quality feedback and they'll say, oh, that's good feedback, and they'll probably go give feedback to your game as well. And that's all there is to it. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps with your game jam submission. I know we skipped over a lot of details on how to do the actual game page. I'm hoping to get another video up explaining some more about that. I will link that here and also in the description below once that is uploaded. Check out the description for links to everything 8-Bits to Infinity. There's a link there to our Discord, to our social media, to our jam pages, and some additional resources. If you have any questions, make sure you leave a comment, or you can check out the link tree in the description that leads to all of my personal contact and social media info. Feel free to reach out to me on any of those platforms, and I will be glad to help. Once again, I am Joshua McLean, founder, jam host, and community manager for 8-Bits to Infinity. I really hope to see your project in our next jam. Happy jamming!